Hey everybody, this is Rykard here again, and welcome to another Pokemon sets video, this time featuring Froslass. Today I'm going to be bringing you two sets for this Pokemon, and they are both very different from what I think I'm used to seeing, and I'll kind of explain how they came about as well as I get to them. So without any further delay, let's take a look at its typing, abilities, and stats. So firstly, Froslass possesses a very unique typing, which is that of Ice Ghost, and it is the only Pokemon in the entire series with this typing, which is very cool and makes it a very unique Pokemon just for that fact. But as for the abilities, the first one that Froslass gets is known as Snow Cloak, which is an ability that increases your evasion by 20% when you're under hail. And that's really cool because there aren't a lot of things outside of Snowcloak and Sandveil which allow you to use evasion to your advantage in competitive play due to the fact that moves like Double Team and Minimize are banned. But as for its next ability and its Dreamworld ability, Froslass possesses that of Cursed Body, which is a really cool ability that makes it so that your opponent has a 30% chance of their attack being disabled when they hit you. And this is really cool because of the fact that you could potentially run some defensive Froslass sets with this ability. I don't have one for you today, unfortunately, but I may do one in the future. But one thing to also make note of is that if you do have a substitute up, Cursed Body will not activate because it's attacking the sub and not you. But as for the stats, Froslass possesses 70 HP, 70 defense, and 70 special defense, meaning that you have 70 base all around for your defenses, which in all honesty isn't the greatest, but it is passable and means that Froslass won't be dying in one hit like many other frail attackers. I think it's a little bit higher than average, which is pretty cool. But it also possesses 80 base physical attack and 80 base special attack, which isn't also the highest either, but it's very usable because Froslass has some really cool stab with the Ice Ghost and also some good coverage all around with a lot of its moves. So that makes its attacking stats seem less significant even though they're not as high as they could be. But because of the moves that it gets, it kind of negates that fact. But also, Froslass possesses a really awesome speed, which is that of 110, meaning that it's on par with Pokemon like Gengar and Tauros, which is really cool because that means that Froslass is definitely able to be a potent attacker because it'll be outspeeding a lot of things. But overall, Froslass, as you can see, is just a speedy Pokemon with unique typing and some pretty cool abilities to make use of. But with that, we shall move on to the first of the two sets that I have for you today. So first for this set, we're going to be giving Froslass a timid nature to increase its speed but lower its physical attack. And then we're going to be making use of the ability Snowcloak because this set is basically meant to abuse the evasion that is caused by this ability. But as for the EVs, we're going to put 252 into special attack, 4 for special defense, and then 252 EVs into speed to give us our highest speed and highest special attack possible for this set. And as for the item, we're going to be using a life orb to increase our attacks a little bit every time, even though that does have the 10% recoil, which could be something to be a little bit weary about just because Froslass is weak to Stealth Rock. For the moves though, we're going to start off by giving it Hail, and this is basically meant as a way to set up our evasion and also give us a 100% accuracy Blizzard, which is amazing because Blizzard has some intense power being at base 120, so anything that wants to come in and take this really won't appreciate a Blizzard. But what Hail also does is if you're using this on maybe an OU team, Hail is amazing due to the fact that most of the weathers that you're going to be dealing with will either be sandstorm, sunny day, or rain. So Hail having the kind of unique weather option can be a way to counter other weathers if you have already taken out that the weather inducer on your opponent's team, or be useful as a secondary option if you are using this on a Hail team. Though if you do expect to keep the Hail up the whole time, you probably wouldn't want to be using Hail, obviously, because it'll already be there. But along with Blizzard, we're going to be using Shadow Ball as a way of a secondary stab option. And obviously, Shadow Ball and Blizzard in combination together is some pretty good type coverage. It has a little bit trouble with steals, but overall it's really good and will give Froslass some power behind all of its stab options. As for the fourth move, though, it's kind of a toss-up in my opinion between Thunderbolt and Destiny Bond. Thunderbolt is obviously really great because it works really well in combination with Blizzard. It has excellent type coverage with that overall because there's not a lot of things that can resist both of them. I think one of the only Pokemon is Rotom Heat form because it's electric fire, but I can't think of any others off the top of my head. But if you also want to go for another option, you could go with Destiny Bond, because Destiny Bond obviously will take your opponent down with you when they try to threaten you out. And this is really great for any pursuit trappers that might want to handle Froslass. It's pretty common to run into them, mainly like Pokemon like Tyranitar often carry pursuit. Pokemon like Skuntank often do as well, or Absol. So having Destiny Bond as a way to take out your pursuit trapper is really good. And it's also obviously really great for Froslass because it has that really high base speed. So Destiny Bond is very usable on a set for Froslass, which is awesome. But overall, if you can get the hail up with Froslass, your opponent may have a very difficult time taking you out, just because all of their moves do have a chance to miss because you have the 20% increased evasion while hail is active. As for this last set, we're going to be using the same EV spread and ability as before. So we're going to be going with Intimidator, Snow Cloak, 252 special attack, 4 special defense, 252 speed, but this time we're going to be using the item Leftovers. And the reason for that is that this set is meant to basically be as annoying as possible. And it's very similar to a common Gengar set that a lot of people run, which is Sub-Disable, and Froslass is able to do the exact same thing. So first we're going to give Froslass Substitute as a way to get behind a protective barrier, and then we're going to, for the support moves on this set, be using Disable as a way to basically hinder any Pokemon that may only have one move that can hit Froslass because of its unique ghost typing. And so say you're going up against a Pokemon that has like Pursuit or something, you can substitute, they try to pursuit you, you disable the pursuit, and now they can't really hit you that well or something like that. While you don't have the third immunity that Gengar has, which is to ground, you do have access to Frost Breath, which I believe is a superior move for a set like this because of the fact that it crits every single time. So if your opponent wants to try to maybe abuse the fact that you may only have one attacking move, Frost Breath is really great because it will ignore any maybe special defense boosts, like if you're going up against a Pokemon that wants to Calm Mind or something. Frost Breath will obviously ignore that stat boost entirely because it critical hits every single time, which is really cool. And as for a last option on the set, we're going to be going with Pain Split as a way to recover our HP even more. So basically this set is meant to just live and outstall a lot of things because it can hinder whatever move they want to be using against you. And that's really cool because the fact that, Froslass doesn't have the best defenses, but it can be very speedy and very powerful. So this set kind of combines both of them. It makes it somewhat defensive as well as still being a good a good special attacker. And on a Hail team, this set is even more annoying due to the fact that your opponent can obviously miss you with the Snow Cloak ability. And that's one of the coolest things I think that Froslass can do with a set like this. If you are wondering though, if you want to use Cursed Body, you can't use Cursed Body with Disable. I'm about 90% sure of this because only one of your opponent's move can be disabled at a time. So unfortunately, you cannot run a Cursed Body plus Disable set because it will just be like redundant. Which is unfortunate, but it makes a lot of sense so that you can't basically kill off all of your opponent's attacking moves. But this is probably my favorite Froslass set that I ever run because it's just really cool and not really what you normally expect to see on a Froslass. But that's it for this video, everyone. I'm assuming that I'm probably going to do another Froslass video eventually, so if you didn't see something that you maybe wanted to, I might come out with another set in the future. But that's it for this video, everyone, so as always, take care and goodbye.